Vinland Saga. Young Thorfinn grew up listening to the stories of old sailors that had traveled the ocean and reached the place of legend, Vinland. It's said to be warm and fertile, a place where there would be no need for fighting, not at all like the frozen village in Iceland where he was born, and certainly not like his current life as a mercenary. War is his home now. Though his father once told him, "You have no enemies, nobody does. There is nobody who it's okay to hurt," as he grew Thorfinn knew that nothing was further from the truth. The war between England and the Danes grows worse with each passing year. Death has become commonplace, and the Viking mercenaries are loving every moment of it. Allying with either side will cause a massive swing in the balance of power, and the Vikings are happy to make names for themselves and take any spoils they earn along the way. Among the chaos, Thorfinn must take his revenge and kill the man who murdered his father, Askeladd. The only paradise for the Vikings, it seems, is the era of war and death that rages on. Tower of God. A new anime released recently. Tower of God centers around a boy called 25th Bam, who has spent most of his life trapped beneath a vast and mysterious tower, with only his close friend, Rachel, to keep him company. When Rachel enters the tower, Bam manages to open the door into it as well, and faces challenges at each floor of this tower as he tries to find his closest companion. The Rising of the Shield Hero. The four cardinal heroes are a group of ordinary men from modern-day Japan summoned to the kingdom of Melromark to become its saviors. Melromark is a country plagued by the waves of catastrophe that have repeatedly ravaged the land and brought disaster to its citizens for centuries. The four heroes are respectively bestowed a sword, spear, bow, and shield to vanquish these waves. Naofumi Iwatani, an otaku, becomes cursed with the fate of being the shield hero. Armed with only a measly shield, Naofumi is belittled and ridiculed by his fellow heroes and the kingdom's people due to his weak offensive capabilities and lackluster personality. When the heroes are provided with resources and comrades to train with, Naofumi sets out with the only person willing to train alongside him, Malti Melromark. He is soon betrayed by her, however, and becomes falsely accused of taking advantage of her. Naofumi then becomes heavily discriminated against and hated by the people of Melromark for something he didn't do. With a raging storm of hurt and mistrust in his heart, Naofumi begins his journey of strengthening himself and his reputation. Further along, however, the difficulty of being on his own sets in, so Naofumi buys a demi-human slave on the verge of death named Raftalia to accompany him on his travels. As the waves approach the kingdom, Naofumi and Raftalia must fight for the survival of the kingdom and protect the people of Melromark from their ill-fated future. Toriko. In the world where the taste and texture of food are very important, there is Toriko, a hunter of precious foods regularly hired by restaurants and the rich. A man with inhuman skills to capture the ferocious, evasive and rare animals to complete his ultimate dinner course, and then the chef Komatsu, his current accomplice, a weak timid person who was inspired by Toriko's greatness and accompanies him on all his journeys on his quest for the course of his life. Sorceress Stabber Orphan. In a world of magic and monsters, Krilinsalo Finrandi and his foster sister Azalea Kate Sith were once promising students of sorcery, prodigies at the famous Tower of Fangs. But an experiment gone horribly wrong warps Azalea's appearance, trapping her in the form of a dragon. Elders at the tower, more interested in preserving their reputation rather than their students' lives, drive off the transformed Azalea and cover up the incident. Outraged, Krilinsalo strikes out on his own, taking the new name of Orphan, and vowing to return Azalea to her normal state. 5 years later, Orphan's quest has stalled. A chance encounter brings him face to face with Azalea again, but he still has no way to restore her body. And with a hostile group of sorcerers hunting her down, he may be running out of time. The past and present collide as Orphan tries to find how to save Azalea from their former teachers and friends. Radiant. Seth is an aspiring sorcerer from the Pompo Hills area. Like all wizards, he is an infected, one of the few living beings who survived the contact of the Nemesis, creatures fallen from the sky that contaminate and decimate all those they touch. Being immune to them, Seth wants to become a hunter and fight the Nemesis. But more than that, Seth wants to engage in a quest that goes beyond the simple hunt for monsters. He wants to find the Radiant, their presumed cradle. Aided by a faction of fellow sorcerers, he travels the world in search of the Radiant, under the harsh scrutiny of the Inquisition. Kame ga Kill. Night Raid is the covert assassination branch of the Revolutionary Army, an uprising assembled to overthrow Prime Minister Honest, whose avarice and greed for power has led him to take advantage of the child emperor's inexperience. Without a strong and benevolent leader, the rest of the nation is left to drown in poverty, strife, and ruin. Though the Night Raid members are all experienced killers, they understand that taking lives is far from commendable and that they will likely face retribution as they mercilessly eliminate anyone who stands in the revolution's way. This merry band of assassins' newest member is Tatsumi, a naive boy from a remote village who had embarked on a journey to help his impoverished hometown and was won over by not only Night Raid's ideals, but also their resolve. Akame ga Kill follows Tatsumi as he fights the Empire and comes face to face with powerful weapons, enemy assassins, challenges to his own morals and values, and ultimately, what it truly means to be an assassin with a cause.